Hello and welcome to another video. If you're new around here, my name is the Diamond Bullet, and today I'm taking a look on Auto Trader. So I'm gonna help you guys for when you're looking for a car in England, UK. Auto Trader is only a national site, not international. This postal code I'm using is the Cineworld that is in my town. So that's why that's there. I don't want to give away too much information of myself. Today we're looking at what if your budget is under £500, and it does get difficult to stick to such a low budget. But if you go into the advanced search, you can search by gearbox, mileage, fuel type, age, colors, doors, seats, all of this. We don't need any of this. And for the sake of this, we're going to include cat S, C, D, and N, which basically mean if it's been in a crash, it's on there. And what we're doing is minimum price of any up to £500, which leaves us with 32 cars. We've got 3 MPVs, 26 hatchbacks, and 3 estate cars. So we're going to search through them and see which one is the best for your money. So looking through them, you can kind of get an idea of what the cars are. So we've got a Ford Focus here. It's missing its front radiator cover. So this would be something that I would avoid, because that could cause problems in the long run, especially with insurance. A Mini. Now, Minis are normally really decent cars. Obviously, you're going for under £500. It's done 140,000 miles. I always assume that the car's doing around 10,000 miles a year. So I'd say that's okay. That's way under, actually, if we're calculating it from 10,000 miles a year, because 100,000 miles would be 2014. So it should be closer to 200,000 miles, but that seems pretty decent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open that in my new tab, and I always create like some form of list. And the reason I'm doing this is I know I've been doing a series of which car should be my first car. It's actually which car is going to be my first content-based car. None of these cars are going to be based for content. I'm just looking for my first car. The first proper car. So this Peugeot 308, sorry, it's a decent car. It's 2009, 89,000 miles. There's got to be something wrong with it, so we'll look into that one as well. This one, if it needs the clutch replacing, or if it needs something replacing, or spares or repairs, you keep away from them, because a clutch for a Ford can be £5,000. Parts can get really expensive, so if it says need something replacing or spares or repairs, don't go for it. Part exchange to clear, that seems normal. So this is a Peugeot 306. I'm not seeing any major issues from these first few shots, which could be a good thing. 2000, so it's the same age as me. 154,000 miles, which is again very, very low in the consideration of things. So we'll need to look into some of the things, and it's got some service history as well. Here we've got a nice grey Ford Mondeo, however it is spares or repairs. Here we have a Vauxhall Meriva. Now I know these small cars I'm also going to stay away from, not because they're small cars, but because the amount of insurance on a small tiny car like that versus say this Mondeo is massive because of the crumple zones. So we're going to stay away from this Meriva too. Also, it's got aftermarket rims on it, which can cause issues with some insurance companies. This Toyota Avensis. Now, this is a spares or repairs, but it does look like a pretty decent car. So if you do see cars like this that aren't spares or repairs, I'd go for it. This Ford Focus is non-runner, so we're keeping away from that. That's one of the issues with having such a low budget. And this one's an ad. Having such a low budget means that, one, these bottom two are going to be way out of your budget anyway. This is a nice car, but non-runners and spares and repairs are something that's going to come up a lot. So on to the next page then, we've got a blue Ford Focus, automatic, runs, needs repairs. I'm guessing that's this front fender here, which they've covered in blue tape, to be honest, to be fair to them. But as you can see, that could cause issues in the future, meaning the fender could get more damage, so we're going to stay away from that. This one is a non-runner. I could tell it was a non-runner. It's a Cat D, so it's been in an accident. So I'm guessing it's been in a pretty bad accident. So nothing we can do with that. This Ford Escort I can't have because it classes as a van, and I can't have a van on my insurance. This one has a lot of paint issues and is a spares and repairs, so we're going to stay away from that. This doesn't have images, so we're going to stay away from that. This Ford Fiesta, all this Part X to clear stuff, for those wondering, means they're happy to take in a car to clear some funding. So if you can't afford the whole thing but you have a car, they will probably price that up for you. But this one, for example, has no MOT. That's another major thing. You can check MOTs when the number plate or license plate, depending on what country you're from, is shown. But we're going to stay away from this one simply because it's got no MOT, and we don't want to spend too much money straight away on a car that we're not going to keep for very long. This Hyundai i10, another example of a very, very small car. The engine is fucked, so it doesn't run. I'm guessing it's due to it not being cared for, and it's another small car. So as soon as you get into an accident, low speed, high speed, the front end is fucked. This one's not available. This Corsa, it does only have 4 photos. I don't typically go for cars that have 4 photos because you can't see everything, so I'm going to stay away from that, as well as this Clio. This Ford Mondeo is an ad. That would have been a nice Ford Mondeo. This is a nice car. This Rover 25, it's a 2000 hatchback, only 32,000 miles. There's a chance it might not run, but definitely worth looking at. This Vauxhall Meriva, once again, I'm staying away from the Meriva. This thing really caught my attention, this Peugeot 406. It's got MOT until October, runs well, which is good. It's closer to the amount of miles it needs. I think it's 10,000 short or something like that. So this is definitely something I am going to consider. It's a nice car. This Golf then, it's a spares and repairs Mark IV, so we can't do much with it. I don't like pictures that are sideways. This Corsa only has 1 photo. This Rover 25 looks like it's a track car, so I would avoid cars that have decals because getting them insured can be difficult. This Corsa is a Cat D, meaning it's been in an accident, but it also only has 4 photos, and I don't trust them because they are all on the exterior. This Peugeot 207, oil cooler faulty. Once again, not a good thing to repair an oil cooler, because that can be a whole list of issues, and there's a lot. There could be a lot wrong with it. There could be not a lot wrong with it, but it could be anywhere between the price of £100 and I think £1,000 to fix a full oil coolant system, which is what we don't want to spend instantly upon getting a car. So we're going to move on. The Peugeot 207 in yellow is a non-runner, luckily, because I don't want a yellow car. And then we've got some ads. Ooh, that's a beautiful Ford. It looks like a Ford Explorer, that SsangYong Tivoli. Really nice looking car. So then this Vauxhall Astra then. This is looking like a very decent Vauxhall Astra. So we're going to open the link. And that's all of them. So we've got 2, 4, 6 cars, all of which are under £500. That Vauxhall Astra wasn't under £500. Okay, so we've got 5 cars, all under £500. And now we take a deeper look into them. So we've got the Mini, £500. You check the description, because this is why you read descriptions, because they've just this wasn't in the listing. So it's got a blown head gasket, spares or repairs, alloys, brake. Everything's wrong with it. So we can't go for the Mini. This Peugeot MOT vehicle has for the past 3 years been used mostly for long distance motorway driving, maintained by owner with regular oil and filter changes. That's important. Vehicle has an oil coolant leak, neither of which are excessive, but still could cause issues. So we're going to stay away from that one because it's got an oil and coolant leak. You don't really want a car that's leaking. Then we've got this Peugeot 206. Starts and drives okay. Spares or repairs. So this isn't looking promising for us right now. This Rover then. An ideal opportunity here for a project if you have the time and effort and the know-how. You should be able to get this K-Series engine back up and running. Head gasket is gone. Told you, that car probably won't move. Now the car, my favourite car so far is this one. Cam belt and water pump changed, central locking not working. Maybe a simple fix, but maybe it's not. So as you can see, under £500 on Auto Trader, you can't get a car that works. If you had the money to get a car that doesn't work, then feel free. But as we are only on 11 minutes, we're going to take our budget up to 1,000. And that gives us a nice amount of vehicles like this Peugeot, for example. Low mileage, full MOT, meaning it probably works. So we can open that. This Corsa, motor trade only, so they want a trade-in only. This Focus we've explained. When I can English, just sending a message. So this Ford Focus, no. This one might be a shout, this Citroen C4 Picasso. There could be an issue in the description, but we'll read that when it gets to it. An MGTF, it's a cute little car. I would love to have an MGTF. So we're going to take a look at it. That's the hardtop as well. So it's a rare hardtop version. They typically come soft on the top. This Golf, read ad, meaning there's probably something wrong with it, but from the photos it looks good. This Golf then, ready to drive away today, 2001, so sure, we can look at that. This Mazda Demio, it says ideal first car. I doubt it will be the ideal first car. Look how small those fucking wheels are. But once again, we can take a look at it. If it works, it works. This is the Mini. I guess it did say it there. I guess we've looked at this one. This Astra then is £750, spares and repairs. This Golf, read full ad, meaning there's probably something wrong with it, but we can look at it. This Clio then has a year MOT, no advisories. I don't know what any of that means, but we can take a look at that. This Astra, part exchange welcome. This is the one we were going to be looking at. It's a really nice looking Astra, so we can take a look. Warranted low miles to owners. It's got very low miles. I wonder if that's something to do with the way the vehicle drives. This Peugeot. Sure, we can look at it. This brown Ford Focus needs body work, so we're going to stay away from that. This Honda CR-V is a really, really good car to get if you can get it cheap. Because I know insurance on these, as well as Toyota RAV4s, the insurance on these are surprisingly cheap. So we can look at that. Long MOT, 3 keys, part exchange clear, but it's got stickers all on the side of it, so I don't want one of those. A Nissan Note, sure, I wouldn't typically go for a Note because I don't like the way they look. And as you can see, there's just so many more cars when you raise your budget to double. And I'm just going to pick cars out at random that kind of catch my eye at this point, because there's no point. This one's got racing stripes. There's really no point going through every single car. That will be an interesting first car. We'll take a look at that. We're not going to look at any form of like insurance. Oh god, insurance or anything like that. We're just looking simply at the cars themselves. Ooh, that's interesting. That probably doesn't work. A Toyota Previa, another really cheap to insure car. You can also get ones that have DVD players in the back. Saab. That's a really nice Saab. But moving on. Jeeps are really expensive to insure. Citroen Saxos, Mercedes. None of them look interesting at all. This one's interesting looking, but I don't want to look into it. A Vauxhall Tigra. That's a very girly car. I'm not gonna lie. Why do they have racing stripes on a Peugeot? Peugeot 206cc. Sure. I've been in one of them before. Proton Savvy. There are some interesting cars on here. As you can see, our list is massive compared to £500. I don't typically go for hatchbacks when looking for cars. Hatchbacks don't really do anything for me, especially when they're fucking yellow. This Civic is interesting, but it's spares the repairs. That Civic is yellow. Don't want a yellow Civic. Don't want a yellow car in general. I don't like the colour. But that doesn't really matter, to be honest. Not really a major thing that should sway your decision in a car, and that's the colour. The reliability, the size, that kind of. This is interesting. Take a look at that. There's so much to consider for your first car. That's interesting. It's not an estate car, it's an SUV. But it does look interesting. I think this loading is now probably because of this. Anyway, while that's figuring life out, this Peugeot then. Low mileage, 2 former keepers alloys with good tyres, drive superb, ready to drive away, open 7 days a week, late viewing can be arranged, part exchange, welcome, 12 months warranty. That's interesting. Delivery available, tax can be arranged. So they will do tax for you. For any more info, blah 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 blah. That is a card that could work. Okay, next one. It's Citroen C4 Picasso. Manual exhaust blowing. So there's a issue with the exhaust, then we don't want it. Picked up this little gem a few months back, but sadly do not have the space anymore to keep it due to a change in job. Has a bit of work done recently, and could do with a smidge more in terms of body work. So there seems to be some. Oh, there's a big dent in the front of it. That's unfortunate. This Golf then, free delivery for NHS staff, free delivery within 30 miles. Service of blah blah. Car has a slight shake and misfire. That'll be a problem. This Golf then, ready to drive away today, November 2022 MOT, paint peel on bonnet and roof. Can we see more of that bonnet and roof paint peel then? Or they're just not going to fucking show it? They're not going to show it. Okay. Because they didn't show it, I'm going to say no. This Mazda is one that was interesting to me. Grey cloth interior, 5-door with warranted mileage of 79k, backed with full Vosa MOT history, just taken this in a part exchange. Smooth engine and gearbox, an ideal first car with low insurance and tax. Car comes with features like electric windows, central locking, radio and air conditioning. V5, previous MOT, secure this car with a deposit. All cars checked with HPI. Driven by employment only, part exchange welcome, bank transfers, deposits can be taken over to blah 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 blah. No issues with that car either. It's got a radio in it as well. It's a very interesting looking car. I want it. That back door is not the same colour as that front door, so I'm not going to accept it. This Golf then. Starts and drives okay, but engine is noisy. That means there could be a problem with the engine, which we don't want to look into. This Renault Clio drives well, but is using water. Possible head gasket issues. Okay, then we're not taking that. Red Lion Road, Tolworth, blah blah blah. Please visit full website. Doesn't seem like there's any issues with this. Fucking hell. Driver information center and multi-tip trip computer, remote control, ultrasonic security alarm, adjustable steering wheel, airbags. If a car doesn't come with airbags, I'll be surprised. Aircon, wheels, anti-lock brakes, central door locking. Once again, I'd be surprised. Center rear seat belt. Yes, I would assume it comes with fucking seat belts. They don't need all of this. All of this. The head restraint, it comes with an immobilizer to be honest, but head restraints probably stuff that you'd expect. Height adjustment, lumbar support, side protection molding, spare wheel, speakers. Well, if it comes with a radio without speakers, you're fucked. Like, they just filled that with everything, but seems like an alright car. This one then, this Ford Mondeo. MOT, HPI clear, well maintained, only 2 former clean, blah blah blah. Drive superb, ideal, fantastic family car, fuel efficient engine and low on insurance. Stunning car that ticks all the boxes, manual prison. Inspection, blah 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 blah. Aircon. Look, they didn't list that it comes with seat belts. I don't know why you'd list that a car comes with seat belts. Anyway, this car is clean in and out, good drive, good tyres, long MOT, very good car for new driver, cheap to insure and tax versus the maybe buy. Fucking hell, can they use capital letters? I'm not going there. They can't use capital letters. This Honda then. Honda CR-V, 6-speed manual, 5-door, 141,000 miles. Some service history. 5 owners from new, power assisted steering, remote central locking with factory alarm and immobilizer. There doesn't seem to be anything wrong with that car. If they put the things that wrong with it at the end, then that'd be pretty shitty of them. No MOT. See, they've put it there. So we can't go for that, unfortunately. I don't want the Nissan Note. This BMW, nice clean. I don't want that. This one really was interesting to me. Next MOT, average bodywork. Okay, seems solid. Mercedes, that's going to be hella. We're not going to look at that either. I already see many issues with that. This one then. So, 2 lady owners. Well, yeah, no shit. I don't want a lady car though. It's a lovely tiny car. MOT economical. Economical. It's a BMW. Stop function. Aircon. Why is it only £995 though? And this Kia Sportage, which is a funky colour. Price is low due to an oil leak. leak. Okay, so like we said, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars out of the amount we had that we would look at. I would genuinely go and look at these. So that's the kind of stuff you would want to look for. You read the description, you read everything first, and then you can go through the photos, see if there's anything wrong with it. That interior could do with a bit more of a clean, but overall not bad. This one, the body panels may be different colours, but it is a nice ass car, and I would really love to have this car. It's a classic. It's older than me, and that's what makes it cool. Then we've got this Ford Mondeo, for example. Seems all fine. The staining is a bit of an issue, but I just won't really care. This Astra, then, it has a little bit of a spoiler on the back of it. It's got the traditional Vauxhall entertainment system. It's a Vauxhall, there's nothing more to say about that. And then this grey Peugeot is probably just going to be a grey Peugeot. It's not anything. That looks like it's dented. It's probably just the shape of the car. They went to make it aerodynamic. So, like, I would arrange to view these cars if I wanted to. But yeah, so I hope this helps those of you looking to buy a car. Obviously, I haven't had a car, but that's the kind of stuff that's the process I go through when I am looking, just in general for a car. And yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you for coming out and watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!